I'm going to keep it all the way real. The petty side of me, when I heard that Janelle had acquired 156 acres of land in North Carolina, wanted to get with the other Sister Wives fans and the YouTubers and all give Kody a collective. But I think that there's a more positive way that we can all look at the situation. Let's talk about it.
Let's get it.
You know, a lot has changed since last season of Sister Wives. When I say a lot has changed, last time we saw Kody and Janelle talking in the same room, there was a shout out, blowout. They was hollering, they was screaming, they was yelling at each other, pointing fingers. Cody tells her, "You better back up on me, woman." And he decides that he wants to leave. And at that moment, Janelle hit her lowest point ever in Sister Wives history. This is like the on-screen stuff I'm talking about. She hit that lowest point. And what was the lowest point? It was the moment when she realized that she didn't have anything financially, that everything she had was tied up with the family, and she had zero, zilch, nada in her own name. She was virtually screwed over. Everything she had relied on Kody's benevolence. He had to decide that he was going to give it to her. And at that moment, I think that's when Janelle started to put a plan together. Now, for many of us, we looked at that situation where Kody and Janelle fell apart, and watching her throughout the seasons, we said to ourselves, why is she willing to let that go? Why isn't she fighting in the trenches? Why doesn't she get an attorney? Why doesn't she try to go into the books? Why doesn't she try to get her cut of this land at Coyote Pass? Why doesn't she? And I think that what we can see from the way that Janelle moved in this particular situation, she didn't say that she was going to give up her ownership in Coyote Pass. In fact, it's my understanding that she went ahead and paid off Coyote Pass, and they paid it off together as a family, and she owns a good portion of it. But in addition to that, she made additional moves that had nothing to do with the family. Janelle, as we found out recently, went out and she bought 156 acres of property in North Carolina, 30 minutes away from her daughter Madison and her husband Caleb. In fact, all three names appear on the deed to my understanding. 156 acres. When she married Kody, one of the things that I think she really dug about Kody was that his father owned 160 acres in Utah. Kody comes from a family that had ranch, had land, and I think that part of her admired that. She even talked about how she used to go camping and she was playing a rough and tumble rugged girl up until the time it got too cold, and then she had to go back to her mom's house to sleep over because it was too much for out there in the plains. But she was always about the camping out life. She was always about the outdoor life. So the fact that she had this property to herself means a lot. Especially when we look at the culture and the way the family was formed. When they first got together and as they had kind of developed as a family, the OG3 and Kody with the OG13, the original 13 kids, what they did was they went in and Janelle would work with Kody, and primarily Janelle would always have a job. She defined herself as a career person, and she would contribute financially to the family. And she would give to the family selflessly because she was getting something out of the deal as well. She was, getting not only access to free childcare, she was also getting somebody who was mothering her children and helping to take care of her kids in the form of Christine, and even to a lesser extent, possibly to, in the form of Mary. So they all worked together, and she contributed to the family wholeheartedly, without question and without reservation. In fact, when she sold her, when they moved to Nevada, she cashed in her 401k, donated it to the family. When she sold her house in Vegas, after they purchased the homes and went through the struggles to purchase the home, clear people's credit, not pointing no fingers, but we know who we talking about. When they cleared people's credit so that they could buy homes, and they all had homes in that little cul-de-sac in Vegas. And they decided they were going to uproot everything and move to Arizona. She sold her home and put it in the family pot so that the family could benefit. And by doing so, she left herself vulnerable. Now, one of the key things that came up during the time when Robyn came in and the challenges and changes that she made to the family culture was that she presented the idea of legacy. She presented the idea of having something that you're going to leave to your kids, your descendants. And once she did that, she went about the business of ensuring that she was going to have something to leave to her family. Now, we can all criticize Robyn and call her selfish and greedy and this, that, and other, but at the end of the day, she changed the rules of the family and she simply played by those rules. She acquired property so that she would have something in her name that she could leave to her kids because that was her primary concern. And she left it up to the other family members to get on board with that mindset and that mentality. Now, with that being said, Mary did a similar move. She purchased that property and she had that bed and breakfast that was in her name alone. And this is no shot on Mary. She did the right thing for herself. When it came to Christine, she also insisted that she was going to have a home when she got to Arizona. So she went out instead of renting a house like everybody else and, excluding Robyn, she purchased a home. And when she left Kody, she took her home money with her because that was her home. That was her legacy that she had property in her name that she could leave to her kids. If something were to happen to her, that property would have become the property of her children. Janelle found herself in that situation, and I felt terrible watching that argument and seeing Janelle's response and saying that she didn't have anything and realizing that she didn't have anything. But what I do like, and I think is a great inspiration to everybody who watches the show, is that she took it in a mindset that she was going to do something about it. She didn't just sit around and start crying and talking about how Kody could make her life better and how if things were different, he could help to give her the land at Coyote Pass. She didn't do that. She didn't sit around and cry about the dust bunnies and the disease land out there in Arizona. What she did was she went about the business of trying to make herself for herself. And the beautiful thing about you making yourself is that if you don't allow other people to make you, and spending time with the grandparents at that family farm. Now, Janelle has that family farm. Janelle has the place, the cool place where her kids and her grandkids can all gather and surround her and give her love and enjoy their summers. This is what I see when I hear about this good news. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to slam Kody because at the end of the day, everything can get worked out. This isn't saying that she's going to stop pursuing her interest in Coyote Pass. It's just merely saying that she has her own, just like Kody has his own, Christine has her own, Mary has her own. And they have to figure out what they're going to do with Coyote Pass. Let me know what you guys think she should do with regard to Coyote Pass. Should she let it go? I don't think so. I think she should get her cut. But let me know what you guys think. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.
Like